All right, we are back with BK's house, who is my normal guest. We get on here and do this quite a bit, and special guest of Chuck. And we're here for part two of this thing, and I want to kick it off by starting with this. Now, this was going to be a tough one for you, BK, because I don't, I know my buddy Chuck here. No, you're in the same boat. You've got the after school daycare stuff down and everything. I have three girls, and I have a buddy who's got two young boys, and I've got another family that has three young girls, and there's kids everywhere. I need your top three kids movies of all time.
Ooh,
Chuck, you've had a chance to think, so I'm going to let you start.
yeah.
Top three kids movies. I've got them written down. Well, let's see. Top three. Yeah, okay. So at number three, I'm going to start with a movie that came out back in, I believe it was '06, '07. Meet the Robinsons was a Disney Pixar. Really thought that was just a fun movie, really great movie, but it also had like a really positive message. Sort of, you know, be thankful for what you have, and don't let the failures of the past kind of bog you down, kind of thing. So that's more of a recent one that I think is a good family film, a good kids movie to watch.
I would have never thought of that one.
Yeah,
All right,
that's kind of forgotten
yeah,
over time. Yeah, it's one that's kind of stuck with me ever since I saw it.
number two.
Number two, this is most recent, Shazam. When we're talking about superhero movies, have you seen
I
Shazam? You
have
seen it?
seen Shazam. I actually watched it with a bunch of grown men at a marriage retreat.
Is that not a fun movie? I mean, like, but a positive family film with some great themes in
It
there.
might be a little much for my 7 year old, but I think my older ones might like it.
Yeah. Moving on to number one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Number one is one that I kind of rediscovered on Disney Plus lately, and I was telling Jamie, I was like, if we had kids right now, this is a movie that I would want to watch with my kid. Walt Disney's Flight of the Navigator. Remember that
I
one?
remember
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, I
That's a
haven't seen it
throwback
since I was
right
a kid.
there.
For the longest time, people have always asked, "What was the first movie ever made you cry?" And I always said it was My Girl. I blubbered like an idiot. But I remember, even before that, watching Find the Navigator, like I would get like a little lump in my throat, because it was, he's trying to find his mom and dad and whatnot. But that's just a fun movie I'd love to share with my kids one day.
Okay, so
Very nice.
so it's of course an extraterrestrial movie. You put it above ET?
That's a good one. That's a good call right there. I did not think of ET. ET and Flight of the Navigator.
Slash. Okay, ET
Yeah,
slash
you
Fly
do.
the Navigator. All right, go for it, BK.
Oh, my number three.
No, oh wait, hold on. What did you say, Chuck?
Okay.
Sorry.
Trying to think outside the box a little bit on
No,
some
you
of
did
these.
good. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna show the girls not tonight, but I'm gonna show them the Meet the Robinsons trailer and see if they're interested because I know that they haven't seen it. So
Yeah.
hit me up, BK.
My number three, easy kids movie, right? Saving Private Ryan. That's your standard kids movie.
We're actually gonna start that one in just a
You
moment.
guys
Watch it
wouldn't
all the way
believe the
through.
stuff I saw as a kid in theater. That explains a lot about me. But number three would honestly be Mulan. Mulan, huge impact on me. Really loved it. I think that it had more of an impact than I probably even realized, not just on comedy, but maybe on the idea of a storytelling thing, what it could be like in animated worlds. And I went to China a few years, ago, and
Hmm.
uh, that's definitely one of the reasons why. Because it just, and of course, it's not like real life China, but still, if it interests you in another culture or something, that's a good way to start. That's three.
Okay, three.
Two is near and dear to my heart, and it hurts me not to put two at one. The Aladdin animated, and it is
The
all because of
original.
the genie. Yeah, the screenplay would have been nominated, would have probably won an Oscar, but Robin Williams did so many improvised lines that were so amazing that it wasn't eligible. And being a screenwriter, that just makes me so happy because the idea of someone like that taking your thing and making it so much better that's like so good it's not even eligible anymore is kind of cool. And Rob Williams isn't here, and dang it, dang it.
Yeah.
Uh, Number one though, I have to go with this, and my soul won't let me not go with this at number one is the Goonies.
The Goonies.
It yeah,
Yes.
I think that it's specifically for guys, young
Yes.
guys, for a kids movie. Boys need to watch this movie for the part with the brother and the family
The
situation,
part
and
with
the
the
adventure
statue at
and
the
the
beginning.
friends.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so important. Not to mention, has an NFL defensive lineman playing the guy in it. But yeah, love that movie. I was tempted to maybe go with Johnny Tsunami at number three, but I can't hold that up to Mulan. That's not a good. So yeah, that's my top three.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna just quickly run through my top three. All right. Number three, Breakin'. Number two,
That,
Breakin' Two, Electric Boogaloo,
Okay, good, good.
and number one, Frozen.
Pro. Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. Can't go against that. So,
No. What'd you say, Chuck?
I said that's all you need.
Yeah,
Those
I
three.
mean, learn how to break dance. I can remember break dancing for hours in my basement doing the exact same thing over and over again. It probably would have been huge on TikTok.
oh,
Yeah.
you would have been a YouTube
Yeah,
star.
I'd
TikTok
have been
star.
crazy. No, but for real, I would put Frozen as number one because I think that is a message. Having three girls that I want my girls to know is that they always have each other. If I were to go back to three, man, I wrote these questions. I didn't even think about what I would say. But three, I would put something. I would probably put. Man, I'm gonna have three Disney ones up here, but I would probably put Aladdin at number three, and I
Okay.
would put The Lion King at number two. And those are just my all-time favorite, and I have to move Frozen to one. I know it's out of vogue now or whatever you want to say, but I still think its message is pretty cool. And I'll be honest, I had no idea I had no idea. Not Hans. Is it Hans? What are the two guys' names? Whatever. What the bad guy? I had no idea he was the bad guy until he turned. So
Mm.
anyway, they got me on that one. All right. So real quick, we're gonna run through. Oh, we got time. Top three movies of all time for you. So,
Oh.
so and I am gonna say this. I
Okay.
will allow series to count as one.
Okay. What
Okay.
about
If I didn't tell
are
you
we
that,
talking
Chuck, so that might
quality?
make you think. Say it again.
Yeah.
Are we talking like loved or quality? Like top three all time in terms of best quality, or like
No,
just like
your
beloved? Like
your top three all
okay,
time.
okay, that
Your
almost makes it harder. Quality, at least I could take me out of the equation.
so
I mean, I have my number one. That's easy. It's just the three and two that's going to be
so on
difficult.
this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with Chuck, and we're gonna do three. Your three, my three.
Oh, I've got two now. I've got to because this threw me off, so I've got to think of a third one.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and I'll start with my third, and
Okay.
this is one that I've just started thinking about recently, and I want to sit down and watch it again. But there's only a few movies that I've ever sat down and watched more than once. All right, and so my number three is Ready Player One. I can
Oh
watch
yeah.
that movie. I know it's not like the book, and I've listened to the book four times. I don't have time to read. So I've listened to the book four times that I know of. It might be five. And I've watched the movie three times, and they're so different that it's perfect because they didn't even try to make it the same, really. And so Ready Player One would be my number three. Chuck,
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
that's a great one. That's a
Yeah.
really good.
tag
All
you're it,
right.
Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah. Chuck.
All right, speed round. So for number three, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Wrote that down. Really kind of developed an even deeper love for that movie. Bates Motel. I don't know if y'all watched that,
I
but
did.
oh my goodness, it's so well acted and just really kind of expounded upon the mythology of Psycho. So Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, um, you know, I could go on and on about that movie. Everybody
We
knows why it's
we were just talking about this on video games the other night, Chuck. The last two horror movies that I ever watched was Blair Witch, which you were a part of, if you remember running into the house, and The Ring.
yeah,
If
yeah.
it came out after The Ring, TV, movies, or I know nothing about it.
The ring ended me. It was. Woo.
Blair Witch, Blair Witch is one of only two horror films to actually, like, I lost sleep over. I could not sleep with the lights off for 2 weeks after watching that. That and The Exorcist. Those are the only two that genuinely scared me like to death. So
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
All right, number 3, BK.
Oh, number 3. Okay, so number 3, it would be my number 1 documentary, but it doesn't get the respect it deserves. So clearly, Predator, the greatest live film documentary about Arnold Schwarzenegger's great conquest against the alien species that came for us, known as the Predators. Uh, I mean, that movie's just awesome. And I saw that movie when I was like 6 years old, which is probably not good, but I know every line of that movie. I've watched every YouTube review. If you are a YouTuber and you review that movie, I'm gonna watch your YouTube channel and subscribe. So just so you know, that's the deal.
All right. My number 2, A League of Their Own. I've watched
Okay.
that movie over and over and over. I tell Carrie all the time I don't tend to get starstruck, but if I were to ever meet an actual player in the ladies' all baseball league, I would probably be starstruck, and I'd be starstruck if I met anyone who was in that movie.
yeah.
2,
yeah.
Chuck.
Number 2, of course, being a huge Batman fan, favorite fictional character of all time. I have to say The Dark Knight, the second in Nolan's Batman trilogy. Uh, I saw that movie in theater 3 times, and I, it's one of those movies that from start to finish, I'm just fully engaged in just the acting, the action sequences, the whole thing with the on the bat cycle. We know when he jackknifes that tractor trailer, being blown. I'm still blown away every time I watch that. So that's my number 2.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
solid. It's hard to go against Heath Ledger as the Joker. Number 2 is Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron. I was always a Mad Max fan, and I was
Yes.
really worried when Fury Road was coming out because I was like, you know, it could have been messed up, and it's amazing. When I heard they didn't even have a script for it, he just had some ideas on a note piece of paper. I was like, are you kidding me? This movie's this good? So love Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
All right, I'll kick off the number 1s. Hey, by the way, I think I went and watched Fury Road by myself in the movie theaters, and I've done that where I went with another buddy. I can't remember, but there there's a lot of people who hate going to the movies by themselves. I
Mm-hmm.
tend to like it, or to go with that one dude that
Yeah.
which when we get there, he sits like 3 seats down from me, and I sit down, and we don't talk the whole time. Like, to me, that's movie going.
There you go.
So, all right, number 1 is the Lord of the Rings trilogies,
Mm,
or trilogy, not the Hobbits, but
right.
the Lord of the Rings, especially the Two Towers. So
Right.
that's my number 1. I don't watch those as much as I watch the other ones. I do have an honorable mention that I'll mention, but The Martian, I watch it every time it's
Oh,
on.
that's cool.
But anyway, the Lord of the Rings, I just I've watched it many times. I've fallen asleep to it many times, and I've woken up to it many times, and will watch it again and fall asleep, and or watch the whole thing and not fall asleep, or just turn on in the background. I love Lord of the Rings, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Chuck, number
Awesome.
1.
All right. Before I review my number 1, I want to piggyback off what you said about going to the movies by yourself. One of my greatest memories of going to the movies was actually a few years ago. The new Blair Witch, the newest one that came out a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
came out and see it. Like I said, the first one, scared me to death. So I really want to see it, but it wasn't playing anywhere around here because I think it kind of flopped in theaters. So I looked up the closest theater that was playing at, and it was playing at a theater in Nashville. So I drove to Nashville all by myself, got to the movie theater, got my big bucket of popcorn with a layer of butter and Reese's Pieces. I was in that movie theater all by myself, and times I've ever had going to the movies. So there's nothing wrong with going to the movies by yourself. You can have a lot of fun with that. But number 1 movie of all time is Ghostbusters.
Ooh.
That movie was the very first movie to ever truly capture my imagination. I was a Ghostbusters fanatic when I was a kid. I had all the toys, the cartoons and everything like that. But then when I saw it again as an adult, I got the humor. When you're a kid, a lot of that humor over your head. You're just like, well, this is cool. But then, like in my mid 20s, I watched it again. I was like, this is some really funny stuff. This is hilarious. So for me, it would have to be Ghostbusters. Uh, Great sci-fi, sort of paranormal film, but just brilliant comedy. That is one of its kind that we don't really see much anymore.
All right,
Oh,
BK, number one.
so this one, I probably saw. I'm trying. I need to pull out my box. I probably went to the movies 3 times a week since I was 4 years old for the last 25 plus years. I have the AMC pass and I've maxed out. I pretty much shut down Movie Pass by myself.
Yeah.
But my number one movie is a movie I did not see in theaters, which is huge for me to say that because I love going to the theater and that's part of a movie for me. Like Avatar was the experience. But my number one will never be questioned. Like I would go to the grave. If you said $10 billion to pick another movie, I would say I declare eternal war on you and your family. It's Big Trouble in Little China, Kurt Russell,
I'm
John Carpenter,
I'm so glad you didn't
Best.
say crawl.
Oh, I love Crawl though. Love Crawl. But Big Trouble in Little China, if you're on the internet watching this and you do not like Big Trouble in Little China, you need to come at me on my channel. I will go after you for the rest of my natural born life.
uh, I I'm not. I've never seen it.
Oh no! Oh,
Never
oh.
seen it.
Next guy's trip,
I
I
have
have to be there.
Okay, we'll do it.
I
Uh,
haven't seen. I've only seen it on television. So there you go.
Oh, I'm
okay,
sick.
we'll do it. Guys trip
I'm,
when
I'm
we go.
physically ill. Oh,
All right.
oh.
Last question. One movie you can show on a date night. What is it?
Jamie and I recently watched Good Boys on
Oh,
HBO.
that's funny.
It's hilarious.
Is that the superhero one?
No, no,
Mm-mm.
no. That's the one. It's about these three little boys. They're in sixth grade, and they're trying to thrown back, and it's rated R. I mean, there's some language and stuff in there, and it's a little bit of like, but it's not like overtly raunchy or anything. But it had a good little message, a sweet little message about friendship and kind of like when you get into middle school, it's when you actually start kind of growing up and growing apart and whatnot. But well, I absolutely love Good Boys. I thought it was hilarious. Jamie did too. So
All right,
Yeah,
BK.
yeah, that's solid. I'm going with the classic, The Wedding Planner. A little
Mm.
Jennifer Lopez, Matthew McConaughey action. I don't even know why I liked that movie. Like I couldn't tell you right now, but yeah.
Well, I'm getting ready to find out if my wife ever watches this or not because every Christmas uh, season we watch a movie and I think I could watch it any time of the year. It's her favorite. It's a guilty pleasure of hers, and I absolutely love to watch it every time too. The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and
Oh
Sandra
yes,
Bullock.
that's a good one.
That movie is one of the only romantic comedies that I genuinely laugh out loud at every single time I watch it.
Yeah,
So that there it is, and
yeah.
maybe maybe I'll get that one out tonight. All right. So before we go, because this one has run a little long, but it has been fun for us. I hope it's fun for the viewers. Chuck, plug what you're dealing with these days.
well, I just want to go ahead and say, if you're looking for a place to bank or looking for a place to, maybe get a loan or something, check out Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union. Right now, the most recent thing I've done, I've kind of stepped back from it a little bit. I was doing some video reviews for the Golden Age 1942 comic book store, Maryville, Tennessee. Did have been doing some comic book review series called the Golden Standard. If you go to their Facebook page and type in hashtag the Golden Standard, you can pull up all the reviews of a lot of different comics and stuff they have in the store there. So be sure to check it out.
All right, BK.
So I got something special coming out here in a few days, John and Chuck. It's my country song debut. Now, despite me never singing for a soul in my life, I've decided to take my talents to Nashville, and this song is, of course, totally serious, and it's going to be a huge hit.
I honestly can wait. Um, I have this for Chuck. This is going to be fascinating to you. I have a series of 4 videos coming out after this one, so it'll start 2 days after you see this one pop. it is based on educational websites, educational technologies, things that I use in my classroom. The first video is long. It's about as long. It might be about as long as this video, but it's talking about Classcraft, which is basically taking this fantasy world and overlaying it over your classroom, and gives you the ability to take control of behavior and to reward good behavior. And so, yeah, that's going to be my next 4 coming out. So that's what's going on with me. And who knows? I'm sure BK and I, we've got, there's millions of things to talk about, and who knows, maybe pulling in some other guest stars from our life. Which, by the way, Chuck knows this, but he is a legend in our town because my buddy and I, we tell stories about him every year in our classrooms at school. And so I actually have kids who will come in to me and say, "I saw him at the bank the other day." Dude's a legend. So uh, we need to head out of here. We're going on 21 minutes for part 2. I appreciate you, Chuck, for joining us for part 1 and part 2 of this video. BK, I appreciate it. Thank you. And anything before we go? All right. Peace out.